When people talk about longevity in football, Cristiano Ronaldo is the first name that pops up, and for good reason. Still competing at the highest level into his late 30s, smashing records, keeping his body in insane condition. But if we look beyond the glitz and glamour, beyond the Champions Leagues and Ballon d'Ors, there are players who've quietly carved out careers just as long, if not longer, without anywhere near the same praise. Take Ashley Young, for example. The man's been around forever. He made his Premier League debut back in 2006, and nearly 20 years later, he's still out there, giving it his all at the top level. Winger, fullback, wing-back, it doesn't matter. He's adapted, evolved, and stayed relevant in a league that spits players out the moment they show signs of slowing down. From Watford to Aston Villa, to his years at Manchester United where he reinvented himself as a defender, to Inter Milan where he helped them win Serie A, and back to the Premier League. It's not flashy longevity like Ronaldo's, but it's gritty, it's versatile, and it deserves more respect. Then there's the legend of all legends, Kazuyoshi Miura. You can't talk about football longevity without mentioning King Kazu. The man is literally 57 and still playing professionally. Yes, you heard that right. Born in 1967. He started his career before some current pros' parents even met. He signed his first pro contract in 1986, and he's still turning out for teams in Japan and now even in Portugal. Of course, he's not scoring 30 goals a season anymore, but just the fact that he's still part of a squad at his age. Unreal. He's not just defying time, he's laughing in its face. But let's not stop there. Zlatan Ibrahimović, until very recently, was another prime example. The man was playing Champions League football into his 40s. And not just playing, scoring, leading, inspiring. He had that aura, that, "I'll stop when I say I'm done," energy. He could have walked away years ago and still had a legendary career, but he didn't. He kept pushing his body, his mind, his ego, everything. Because for him, the game was still worth it. And what about Gianluigi Buffon? Another titan of the game. A goalkeeper who made his professional debut in 1995 and only retired in 2023. Think about that. That's nearly 3 decades at the top of world football. World Cups, Serie A titles, Champions League finals. He's seen generations of players come and go, and just kept on showing up with that same calm, composed presence between the posts. There's also Joaquin, the Spanish wizard. Played his final game at 41, still captaining Real Betis, still dribbling like it was 2002. That man was football's version of sunshine. Pure joy, passion, and commitment. A cult hero who never lost his love for the game, and his body kept up just long enough to let him leave on his own terms. Even players like Luka Modrić deserve a shout here. 38 years old, and Real Madrid still call on him in the big games. He's aging like fine wine. Sure, he might not start every match anymore, but when you need calm, control, and magic, he delivers. And let's give a nod to Dani Alves, before his off-field controversies, of course. He was still playing for Brazil at the World Cup in 2022 at age 39. Most full-backs are cooked by their early 30s, but he was bombing up and down that flank like it was 2010. The thing about all these players is, they didn't necessarily get the same media obsession that Ronaldo does. But they kept showing up. They adapted, evolved, changed roles, changed clubs, sometimes even dropped down divisions, but they kept going. And that's a different kind of greatness. So yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's longevity is insane. But he's not alone. There's a whole group of warriors who've treated this game like a lifelong companion. Some of them left quietly, some are still fighting, and some, like Miura, may never stop. And maybe that's the beauty of football. Not just in the goals and trophies, but in the ones who just refuse to quit. If you enjoyed this look at the unsung heroes of football longevity, those who kept going when no one was watching, who didn't need the spotlight to keep chasing the game, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more stories like this coming your way. Not just the obvious headlines, but the deeper stuff. The players, the moments, the legends you don't hear about every day. So stick around, drop a like if you vibed with the video, and let me know in the comments which player's longevity you respect the most. Catch you in the next one.